Hello and welcome to the Churros y Tácticas Podcast. It is Tuesday. I'm your host, Kiyan Sobhani, joined by my equal co-host, Diego Lorijn. I did the intro because Real Madrid are first. You know what? It's actually a great weekend in La Liga. So many goals. And
we wanted goals.
We've been asking for this. It's been a drought. Finally, some rain. We finally got some. It felt like the old La Liga was back this weekend. We had a ton of goals. Also, just a heads up, I haven't. No, he's upstairs. Go check. So what I was about to warn you about happened right now. So my kids.
Best to get it out of the way.
Yeah, my kids just got home. I cannot promise that there won't be interruptions today. It's kind of that weird time before school starts and when they're out of camp. So they're home running around. So hopefully it'll be more cute interruptions and not crazy kid interruptions. But that may be a thing this podcast. Not everything is peachy, Diego. Vinicius Jr. or yet another Real Madrid player gets injured. This Rubiales thing just gets weirder and worse and more gross every day. So it's the yin and the yang. So welcome back, Diego. You were away. No, you weren't away. You were celebrating your wife's birthday last night, right?
Well, yeah. So last night is sort of tradition to have the pre-birthday aperitivo, let's say, like to start getting in the mood and celebrating the new year that's ahead. And my wife has turning has turned 40 today. So yesterday we went out with the family. Yeah, big one. Another milestone. It's crazy. It's just packed with milestones this summer, from the 10-year anniversary to the 40-year birthday. My wife and I have actually known each other exactly for 20 years. We've been, let's say, intimate since 15 years and married for 10. And Kiyan is in deep conversation with his son once again.
I'm listening, I'm multitasking.
Multitask. No, this is what you got to do. Trust me, I know all about that. But so yeah, summer packed with milestones today. Thankfully, the last one, Kiyan, I will say that it's been stressful trying to manage, reaching the expectations of fulfilling those milestones and important ones, such as the 10-year wedding anniversary and the 40-year birthday. So I feel like a weight has been lifted upon my shoulders, and I can focus once again fully on, continuing to move forward in my professional career. The reason I say that, Kiyan, is because I went sort of for the, what should you call it, emotional, more sentimental type gift that took not only hours, days to put together. What I did was basically reconstructed the story of how my wife and I got together, like knew each other 20 years ago, and how that moment, almost serendipitous type of moment, it turned into a lifetime of love and us growing a family and, reconnecting 5 years after we first met each other, which was 15 years ago, to now, then getting married 10 years ago and now having two beautiful kids and a very loving family. And I'm a fortunate man and fortunate husband. And you got to make sure you let the wife, you're appreciative of everything, and get that Pepo. And I have the pleasure as well of having my father-in-law and my mother-in-law over. So the capo's in the house. Be aware.
I love it. We both got a full house right now. It's always good to just step away and celebrate those milestones. If you want to talk, you have to come here on the podcast and say hi to everybody.
You gotta say hi. You gotta be on your best behavior. Like I said, the capo's in the house. We have to show respects.
Diego, now that we got the formalities out of the way, we've distracted our family members for a second.
So formal, as we always are on this podcast. Nothing but professional, formal, wholesome behavior.
I'm not, this is one of those weekends where I'm not sure where to start. There's 5 talking points. There's so many, but there's 5 topics I think that we could literally address equally. So I'm gonna throw the ball.
You have the honor. You have the honor of leading today's pod. So I'm in your hands. What does fate have in store? What is Churros on this 29th of August, match day 3, gonna start with?
Why don't we start? Why don't we get the uncomfortable stuff out of the way?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, it could be. Yeah, actually, could be multiple things that I'm referring to, but I'm referring to the Luis Rubiales case. So it's hard to keep track of what's changed since you and I last spoke, which was the Patron edition last week. Towards the end of last week, Patron edition, we recorded for our patrons. Since then, a lot has changed. I think, namely, there was just a lot of... it's a little bit convoluted, so let me try my best. So the Federation has gone kind of back and forth like a teeter-totter seesaw, changing their stance. At first, a bunch of them applauding him in the room, then taking a stand against him.
A bunch, like Vilda, like Luis de la Fuente, the head coaches of both the men's and the women's team, Spanish national team.
When I saw De La Fuente's face applauding him initially, I was like, that can't be right. No, maybe it's another bald guy who looks like him. That can't be the coach of the men's national team applauding this guy. That's not real. That's not a real thing. Am I dreaming? Is it an AI generated video? Is it like? So that was a thing. The Federation, unbeknownst to the interim president, actually threatened to leave UEFA and withdraw its Spanish teams from the competition. When I saw that, to me, it was like kind of like this empty threat that will never happen. There was part of me that thought, like, and obviously there's the hunger strike from the mother, and then the fact that
it's amazing. It's like more telenovela than this is impossible, man.
You can't.
It is so.
I have a WhatsApp group with my friends who are just providing updates on the mother. Like, okay, this is all they're interested is in the mother. They want to know how long she can do this.
I do too. Is there updates? I am going to subscribe to whatever account is, sending out updates on the situation of Mama Rubiales going on a hunger strike, locking herself in a church as well, mind you. So she's gone full blown
because her son is suffering, quote, inhumane
a witch hunt. Yes.
He's being heavily persecuted. Of course, he's such a victim in this situation. 50 people gathered. This was an article in El Mundo where they posted pictures of. There's actually 50 people protesting outside the church, supporting the mother and Rubiales, calling Jenmi Hermoso a liar. Which, of course, yes, of course, Jenmi Hermoso, the woman who there is real video evidence of her not lying, she's the liar. Of course, this is these guys might as well be at a flat Earth convention. They're so out of their mind.
It does feel like it does get that sense. It's very Trumpian in a way, isn't it? Did you see the definitive video footage of Rubiales literally leaping into the arms of Jenny?
Yes.
Where she has no intention of lifting him, but he's like...
Yes. And of course, they tried to spin it as that's Jenmi Hermoso lifting Rubiales in the air. Whereas the video shows him literally jumping off the ground and trying to, like, I don't even know how to describe what he was doing, but it was definitely...
like a child in his mama's arms.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes. One of the best, one of my favorite... Sorry.
No, that's it. Go.
No, one of my most favorite outcomes of this, though, is the whole Vilda situation where he was offered in the most surreal, kind of mafioso, almost like... Yes, arrogant. What's the word? What's the adjective I'm looking for? It was nonchalant the way he was offered his raise. It was, venga, you're gonna now vas a cobrar medio millón. Toma, 4 años, medio millón por. It was the way he just offered it, threw it on the table like it was like you could see like a wad of cash being tossed his way, and Villa just being like, okay, nice. To now he's gonna go. I mean, we'll see how this this telenovela ends. But right now, the papers are reporting that he will not see a cent of that because he will no longer be the head coach, as he will get fired. They are saying that Luis de la Fuente is safe, which I'm disappointed by, quite frankly. But Villa will get the axe.
I'm so out on De La Fuente. I'm out. I don't care if they win the World Cup with him. I'm out on this guy for applauding this whole situation. How can you sit there, listen to those words, and clap? How can you do that? How can you do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, obviously this gets even messier because Rubiales is actually on the board on UEFA. I believe the latest, by the way, from FIFA is that they're pushing for 15 years suspension.
Yeah.
If Rubiales had to just apologize and resign,
wasn't it? FIFA.
Yeah, that's what I said. Oh. If Rubiales, I also said UEFA a few seconds earlier, but
okay.
If Rubiales had to just come and apologize. Like a proper apology, not a shitty ass apology video, which he tried to get Hermoso involved and her family members involved. Like a real apology video.
Yeah.
And then just came to the General Assembly and said, I messed up. I apologize. I'm going to get some help. I stepped down. All of this would have been over. Right?
Absolutely. 100%.
And he would concede at that point that he made a mistake, which he already did, by the way, in the apology video. Everything else after was backtracking, ignoring the fact that he did apologize. Instead, he doubled down and made everything worse. Now his mother might die of a hunger strike because he refuses to step down. He's making a ton of enemies in the process. So here's my theory as to why he doubled down. Can't prove it. So I feel like Diego Lorijn now. Hold on. I need a tinfoil hat.
Where is it? Get one.
I got a
tinfoil can.
Soda.
Okay, that'll do.
My theory is he was confident that he wouldn't lose his spot because he has dirt on the federation, on clubs, on UEFA, and he'd be like, "Well, they can't sack me because if they do, everything's coming out." And maybe he was using that as leverage. So that's my theory. Diego Lorijn, master theorist.
Sorry, I told you I was gonna get.
I know.
Sorry.
No, you should finish. Is it your wife? You should take that conversation.
Yes. No.
Okay. So what's your opinion, Mr. Theory? Mr. Conspiracy Theorist?
I think that's a good one. I think there's another one where they say that there actually was a relationship between the two. Again, that is between Rubiales and Jenny.
No way.
There are
no
an odd
way.
amount of
Come on, man.
I'm not saying that's true. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying that is what some people are saying. And for I don't know if it's too many people, but it's just something that some people are mentioning. I don't know. I find that one very hard to believe as well. I think he doubled down because nobody, en España nadie dimite. In Spain, nobody resigns. That's just not something that politicians here do. It's not people in high positions and in those types of positions of privilege and power do, because they don't want to let go of also the kind of money that he is making. It's again reportedly around the €1 million mark a year. Find a job that can get you that and allow you to live so powerfully as one of the most powerful men in Spanish football. Certainly,
Sure.
He was. Let's not forget vice president as well in UEFA. So he enjoys certainly a position of power that he doesn't want to let go of, and if he feels he has the audacity, but also the in a way cunningness to spin it in a way where he actually walks away not clean, but at least having convinced enough people that, this was just an innocent thing and he shouldn't be let go of his job for that reason, then he wins to live to fight another day. Villar as well was not somebody that was very loved at all and was filled with controversy himself. And he had to fight tooth and nail to beat him in the election and become the president himself. And this is, again, Rubiales, who's an ex-football player, there's excellent footage out there, actually, of Messi burning him, absolutely annihilating him, time and time again when he was a football player, playing for Malaga, I believe it was even. So yeah, man, I just think it's that. I think he was like, you know what, I'm going to try to go out fighting. If I leave, it's not going to, it'll be on my turn, not on his terms, but he won't go without a fight. And he's losing the battle, clearly. Thankfully as well, because both you and I were asking on the last podcast as well, is like, well, where are those people in the position to get rid of this guy? If it's not himself stepping down, then, the next people, those higher up, have to step in and remove him forcibly.
Well, first of all, not that any of this matters, but I think he must have been playing for Levante at that time.
Might have been Levante.
No one cares. He sucks. But I think this is the kind of the sad part of this, and there are many sad parts of this, but the reaction should have been immediate. In an ideal world, the reaction is immediate and he's gone. And he gets some help. I don't think he cares what anyone thinks of him in terms of his reputation. He seems like a psychopath to me, and psychopathic people have very little remorse or empathy, if any.
Yeah.
They're just manipulative and whatever they can to put themselves on top. But this is what I was going to say. Going back to the theory. You have been very quiet on one of the Churros tweets that we put out yesterday. Did you see it?
I don't know. Probably not. If tell me, which one was it?
So it's a video of Gerard Romero and another journalist, probably one of the ones your YouTube friends with their hats, saying that it's better we don't say anything because Rubiales may have dirt on the Negreira case. And he may bring it to light if he may pull. I think the wording was, Rubiales may pull the carpet out, pull the rug out, and unveil things and that's why this goes to.
I would want him to do that.
I agree to that too, but this to me goes hand in hand with another theory. If you look at Barcelona's statement, it was kind of
Yeah.
Hermoso was a club legend. If I was a Barca fan, I'd want just back her. She's a legend.
100%.
And I felt it was a little bit too.
They didn't call him out.
No,
well, Laporta had to come out himself to rectify that before the game, before kickoff in Movistar. I guess he asked to speak to the reporter to come out with a statement rectifying, or let's say amplifying, if you will, adding on to the statement that was put out by the club, and good on him, but that should have been done from the start without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah,
from the start.
Mind you, Ray Amjad's statement wasn't that much better, but
I didn't read it. I looked. I saw that they put something out. Did they call out Rubiales?
They did, and it's support of the women's team, and they said we trust that the powers at be will bring justice to this,
right,
etc.
Well, and listen, I didn't see that tweet. Now that you put that tweet forward to me, if that's the case, by all means, put the dirt out there. Let us see the dirty laundry if there is any, because,
Well,
it's the only way. Like, it's the only way. I'm so tired of this whole situation as it is, while I'm trying to prove a point that Real Madrid is the most benefit team in the history of football. So,
my guess is it would be more Barca dirt than Real Madrid dirt if that happened.
No. And I'm saying, if there is, like, let the dirt flow. Like, absolutely. I don't want to live in denial. And I would want to know. And plus, we deserve to know.
I mean, I want him gone regardless, but certainly when I saw that, I was like, well, if he has anything, then,
So he was just kind of putting it out there hypothetically, or he was alluding to, like, oh no, there's rumors that he has some dirt?
I think it was more like hinting at it.
It would be
It wasn't a definitive stance.
Okay. Well, I mean, from somebody who already is, immersed in controversy or himself already, Rubiales, I mean, from taking a Copa to Saudi Arabia, from supposed, sexual parties, flying out to New York to have lunch with a Mexican lady, to the tapes with Piqué, with Ramos. It would be absolutely no surprise, if more dirt is uncovered. If there's anything that has to do with Negreira, I want it out there.
For sure.
And if there's anything that have to do with Madrid, put it out, please, as well. Throw a dog a bone sometime.
Yeah, let's just hope that this whole thing gets... it's already dragged on way too much. And again, going back to August 20th, everything should have been about celebrating what the women achieved. And to this day, we should still be celebrating what they achieved. And instead, we're talking about this guy. So
we'll do it a year from now in an Amazon Prime docu series. And
yeah. I just, there's always a part of me that gets super, super annoyed when the wrong people steal the spotlight. But
well, let's talk about right people stealing the spotlight. Stop being so goddamn negative, will you? Jeez. Let's talk about some positive news, Kiyan, for the Spanish national side, and that is that, and for Barca, of course, Lamine Yamal has reportedly decided that he will play for the Spanish national team. The young, promising, up-and-coming star for Football Club Barcelona will be called up by De La Fuente, I guess this week, end of this week, Thursday or Friday, and the first international break is coming already. Of course, I think I have it here. Spain is playing the Euro Cup qualifications, kicking off against Georgia on the 8th. Cyprus on the 12th in Granada. And wouldn't you love to see more of Lamine Yamal also in a situation where you can at least half-heartedly support him when he wears the red, La Roja, for Spain? Because I know you're dying to support this kid. We got one there. We got one that you like, huh?
I support him even with Barca to succeed. I want these young, talented players to succeed. I mean, I really like what I've seen so far this season. I think he's been your most dangerous offensive player, I think you could argue, right? I mean, he hasn't been scoring goals, but he's been creating so many and been unlucky not to score. So
allowed Levy to get his goal. I mean, that was all I mean. So
yeah. Did you see? I don't know if you saw, but this surfaced on Twitter today. There's an image in the 2016 Clásico when the players are coming out of the tunnel, and of course they hold kids' hands, and so Ramos is holding Yamal's hand as they're coming out of the tunnel. Someone in our Discord joked that why didn't Ramos tackle him right there then? So this guy...
He had the chance. Should have taken it.
No, look, I'm happy. Like, even the whole Ansu thing, my heart hurts for him because,
it hurts.
Mind you, he's actually playing well off the bench, I think. Did you see Lewandowski's quote?
Those missers were imperdonable. It was really tough to...
Sure. You're right. But I think it's hard to deny that, like, the game changes a little bit when he enters the field, whether he makes the right decision or not, right?
Sure.
Did you see Lewandowski's quote?
Oh, no, what did he say?
Oh, it's super interesting. I mean, these conversations seem to me like, my guess is he's had this conversation with Xavi behind the scenes, and maybe Xavi doesn't see it that way, and maybe he's putting it out public.
Was it that they don't have enough attackers?
Yeah. Well, This is the quote. He said, "In a lot of games, I don't get many chances to score. In the last 2 matches, there weren't many chances for me, so I had to create my chances. We don't play with enough attacking players. When we see Ferran or Ansu come on, 2 players who go forward, we create more chances." So it almost seems like he was saying like, "Hey, Xavi, start these guys," kind of vibes.
I mean,
like
that's
public pressure.
Nothing indirect about that. That's straight shots. Like, hey, I need help up top. And I think he is right. I think it's undeniable what you mentioned when an Ansu, Ferran come on, that Barca's offensive presence is obviously more felt. It's more heavy. There's more things happening. Yamal, on the right flank. This again just turned 16 5 weeks ago. It's unbelievable. Is so explosive. I think so much offense flows through him, but somebody else that can not make it so heavy, so one-sided for Lamine Yamal to create from the flank and allow Levy also, of course, to have more space to roam around and be unpredictable, or be in spots where he can find the space to make himself more available as well. Having said that, it also him and Ansu, it was, what was it? In the 4-3, what could have been a definitive 5-3 blow, pretty much. I thought both were very, not just unselfish, but just, I mean, who am I to call these elite football players, dumb in their decision making? But when you see then these 2-on-1 kind of near on 2-on-1 situations that they choose to go for glory themselves, regardless of how badly they want to see the ball hit the back of the net and get that, sensation that of course all forwards need and thrive on. The obvious pass was there in both of those situations, and both made the wrong choice and the wrong decision that could have really ended up hurting us bad deep in a stretch when Villareal, although was, had run out of steam at that point. They started off, I mean, I put out a tweet. I said 2-1 fair result. I myself was on the verge of criticizing myself because, Villareal in the beginning deserved to have gone up a goal or two themselves before Barca stunned them with the back-to-back, the 1-2 punch. And Barca being up 2-0, which was, quite a miraculous reaction after having been put under so much pressure from Villareal offensively and from Baena let me finish off the point saying that Villareal, that had run out of steam in the second half, still had enough in them to have pulled back at least one more goal, and it would have ended 4-4. And again, Barca would have dropped 2 points. So that's what I hold against, Levy and Ansu.
Well, like you said, they ran out of gas. I think that's one of the disadvantages of starting hot against a team like Barca and being really aggressive. It's hard to sustain that, and I think they had a bit of bad luck to go down 2-0 the way they started. Yeah. I forget who it was because I actually didn't take notes on this specific game, but the Villarreal player who basically passed it to Frankie by accident in the second goal. He got a lot of
he backheeled it. I didn't see who that was actually.
Yeah, I just can't remember right now. But if you look back, I mean, that was a little bit unlucky. He was just trying to win the ball. The ball goes in the wrong direction, and then
obviously, I mean, initially or at least everybody and their mothers thought there was Levy with a back heel, and there was a beautiful pass to Frankie. Yeah.
But if you look at that sequence, that's Parejo should have picked up Frankie, and he didn't track him, and that's why Frankie was wide open to shoot. Yes. And so there was just a couple of defensive errors, and they just didn't give themselves the best chance. And then they ran out of gas. And what made them so good in this game was that they actually put a lot of pressure on Barca, and their build-up was really good. They had numbers between the lines to get through Barca's press and take advantage of that space behind their back line. And then when they took the lead, I think that almost screwed them a bit, because the best scenario for them would have been if they took this lead in the 89th minute. But they took it too early, and I thought they just went into a deeper shell to defend it, and then they lost momentum after that. But you must be happy, right? You
very happy.
Well, you played against a team that plays football instead of the Getafe gong show. So
yeah, it was a nuts. The game was nuts. It was Pedraza, by the way, who backheeled it to Frankie. Yeah, it was a great game in that it was exactly what we were asking for. Freaking goals, like some goddamn football being played. Actually, two teams that were enjoying, having the ball, creating chances, going out offensively. Two teams that, of course, defensively are frail. Setien said himself that the defensive aspect of this team is he doesn't have it under control yet. They don't know how to defend without the ball. They're a team that, like Setien, like all of Setien's team, of course, want to defend with the ball. So a team like Xavi's that has the same mentality, the same approach to the game, that want the ball as well. And I actually don't know what the possession stat was at the end of the game, but I would have imagined that Xavi's midfield would have won that midfield battle and the battle of possession as well. So meaning that Villareal had to run, and therefore in the end ended up exhausted, unable to keep up the pace against a Barca side that, of course, is defensively also frail. With the trio, the trident in Barca's defense being Araujo, Koundé, and Christensen, with that being the main link being or missing from that in Araujo. It's and a Sergi Roberto, of course, that had to fill in on the right flank. Yes, I mean, he is the guy that once again, of course, is being singled out and scapegoated mainly for the goals that Barca conceded. What can I say? I mean, let's hope that Fabrizio Romano is able to confirm what he confirmed last night today again, and that is that Cancelo is a done deal. I certainly, want to see that right flank heavily reinforced by somebody the likes of Cancelo. It would be a massive, I believe, improvement over Sergio Roberto, who, will find it a lot more comfortable as well, I think, to be a help in the midfield, as opposed to having to fill in a very demanding, of course, right back position that had to stop some great Villarreal players as well. Like I talked about in Baena and Pedraza themselves. I mean, these are great football players and able to produce some very good football for Villarreal, who will once again be competing for the European spots. And yeah, an entertaining game of football for sure. Very happy to have seen this after Getafe and Cádiz that really kind of, I lost hope already so early on in the season for the kind of football that's awaiting us this upcoming season.
I think Cancelo, if it goes through, is a good pickup for Barca. A lot of people have been asking, is he worth it with some of the problems he caused? I mean, if you look at the main problem at Barca and Bayern at times was his complaint was mostly, I think, that he couldn't play. I think if you give Pep some truth serum and ask him to tell the truth, he would probably also say that defensively he wanted a stronger right back, and that's why he did a formation change as well. But there's not going to be issues of playing time at Barca because he's comfortably your best right back already. He is a right back, first of all, that you guys don't need you. So
I mean, it's imagine the defensive line of Cancelo, Araujo, Koundé, or Christensen, and then Balde on the left. That's Now we're talking. I mean, and again, it's not like we're talking about a team that doesn't know how to defend. We had the best defending numbers last season of all top 5 European competitions. You know, Pichichi, least amount of goals conceded. So it's getting the players in their positions and getting them fit is the key right now.
And the other thing is that according to this deal that's been reported, there's no obligation to buy. It's just a loan. I mean, it's a good bit of business without much risk. So I think it's a good pickup for Barca. What's this? Is there like a 1% amount of truth to these reports that Balde's a little bit upset for whatever reason?
Again, man, you can tell I do not no longer work for the club. I'm not on. What's the latest? What is this? What is this little rumor floating around the campfire?
Maybe I shouldn't have even brought it up because I don't even know if it's even worth bringing up. Let's just leave it there. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have brought it up. I don't think it's a real
as far as I know, he's out with molestias. He's banged up, and Xavi didn't want to risk him because he's banged up in his knee. Remind you, this is a player that has a not a weak knee, but certainly has had injuries and issues with his knee. So. Marcos Alonso, I think, you know, it's a good number 2. It's a good number 2. More importantly, sorry. Well, go ahead.
I was going to change subject.
Change team as well because I have some news.
Yes.
So because the transfer clock is ticking down as well, there's only 2 days left. August runs to 31, right? Yeah. I believe it does, yeah. And is the Joao Felix. Now, Joao, again, I want to say this is reported by Fabrizio. He is said to wait for Barca until the very last day.
Okay.
I will say right now, it's not going to happen. Joao Felix will not come. Why do I say that? Because San Fermin has renewed his contract until 2026. 26, I believe it was. Great news. Excellent news for Barca. Excellent news for the player as well. You know, all these youngsters now, Lamine, Gavi, Pedri, Ansu, hopefully, of course, as well, is on our wish list. And now Fermin, Balde, let's not forget, even Araujo, for crying out loud. All these youngsters that are becoming, hopefully, the cornerstone of this very exciting project is taking nicely shape. I believe in Fermin, not just from what we saw in the preseason, but in lower categories as well. And I salute his contract extension or renewal. And I would like to think that Xavi will make use of him instead of a Joao Felix, where the club can also continue to be financially responsible, hopefully. Let's see.
Well, you've been true to your stance from the beginning of the summer, where you said you don't think Joao Felix is going to go to Barca, even when earlier on when it looked like it was going to happen. If I'm a Barca fan, I'd rather take a gamble on Fermin too, rather than bring in Joao Felix. I've mentioned this to you before on a previous podcast. I don't really see how Joao Felix fits at Barca from a tactical perspective. He just doesn't really. If you put him in midfield as a guy who maybe controls tempo, you already have better midfielders than him, and he's not going to give you much production as a winger because he's not a traditional winger. So if you're going to play him in that box midfield, you already have enough players for that. So I think it would be unwise, let's put it that way, for Barca to
agree.
To go that route. But that
Fermin Lopez all the way. What?
But that does transition us to Atletico, though.
Okay.
This 7-0, I'm skeptical. I feel like people are running away with it too much. Kind of reminds me of 2016 when they put 7 past Granada early on, and we were like, wow. Now they've gone from the best defensive team in the world to actually they can score plus they can defend. And it didn't really age well, and it kind of like it seemed like they went into this limbo of what's our identity. It's all of a sudden they became this team that wasn't attacking that well nor defending that well. So I guess I'm just skeptical to see if they can sustain it. It was a great performance. Obviously Griezmann now is just awesome. He's been awesome for a long time. Saul looks like he's getting some bounce back.
Very happy for him.
Yeah,
very happy.
I'm just happy for La Liga.
Oh.
Every time I look at Atletico and they still have Griezmann and Griezmann's not playing for like Chelsea or something, I'm like, oh, good. We still have a star outside the top 2 teams.
Well, dude, I mean, let's be honest as well. He was on the road to redemption. Like, he was on a mission to redeem himself because he had been kind of stinking a little bit. His time at Barca wasn't really what we expected, and for whatever circumstances, I mean, that didn't take away from his talent, but there was a clear decline from when he self-stated that he was able to sit at the table along with Cristiano and Messi. It was like, and look, again, he's always had the talent. I just think that I think mentally there might have been a lot at play that we don't necessarily know about from the decision. LeBron, after the decision documentary where he received so much criticism, kind of had to dip himself as well, as he was getting used to maybe being outcasted by society. He was painted as the bad guy, the evildoer, as the screen has frozen on me picking my nose. But there I am. And I think maybe we saw similar with Griezmann, where, after his little decision episode, to then eventually, come to Barca and I don't know. It was all weird. It was a little weird. And now, I'm happy to see him back in the colors that I think suit him best, in a team as well that suits him best, and thriving, quite frankly. Thriving, as we, of course, saw from him already last season. He had an excellent season.
Maybe that was his whole plan with the decision. Because he tries to copy every NBA superstar and what they do because he's an NBA fanatic. Maybe he saw the whole arc before we all saw it. He said, look, LeBron became a villain and then went back to his home team and became a hero. Maybe he planned it out. He's like, you know what? I'm going to do this video. I'm going to piss off all the Atletico fans, and then I'm going to come back and save them, just like LeBron did. Maybe that was his plan the whole time. So maybe he's just 5 steps ahead of all of us here.
5 steps ahead of us. It's buy and before. Oh, what is it called? Buy and for management, I think, is his management agent. The guys that do content. Well, his agency.
Oh, okay. I gotta run soon, but I did want to just get your thoughts on a man from humble beginnings, a player who, very unknown. No one really knew him. He couldn't even win the Golden Boy. And out of nowhere, he's now scored 4 goals for Real Madrid. What a story. I mean, a player who clearly became good all of a sudden and had to work really hard. What were your thoughts on Bellingham, La Liga's new star? You like what you see so far?
Yes. It's a guilty pleasure, isn't it? But it's one of those. No, man, I'll be as eloquent as you were before and say I'm very happy for La Liga to have these attractive young stars in the making and growing in front of our eyes, exploding in front of our eyes. Bellingham's arrival at Madrid has been nothing short from just excellent. Talk about hit the ground running, and his impact on the team. I mean, I don't think offensively anybody would have expected him to have so much impact meaning if it's not from a creational standpoint, I mean, of course, from a goal-scoring standpoint. The fact that he's already been so productive with 4 goals in 3 games is nothing short from impressive, like I said. So I'm happy for that. I'm happy to, yeah.
I think his job is just going to get tougher and tougher. I mean, next game we have to go against Getafe without Vini.
No worries. No worries. Just I don't know. Just do something in the box, and you guys will be fine. Just
seriously, like it's going to be tough. It's going to be. He's got to be looking around now. He's like, okay. So now I'm basically just a striker. I don't know. Carlo Ancelotti my best guess is he'll go Joselu, Rodrigo, and Bellingham in that game against Getafe.
He's got Joselu next to him. Top signing.
He's a good signing. I will not let you throw Joselu's name under the mud, man. He is a good signing.
Saying he's a top signing.
But then you looking around off the bench, it's Brahim Diaz, and that's it. Then we got Castilla guys, Gonzalo Garcia, if he gets called up. Slim pickings, man. There's at some point, Carlo's got to sub himself in.
Oh, that's why you tweeted that.
Oh, you just caught on to that?
Yeah.
It's a good goal. Have you seen that goal before?
Goal. No.
You know who it's against?
A great goal. Inter?
No, that's Real Madrid.
Oh.
That was the Milan dynasty versus Quinta del Buitre.
Qué golazo.
Yeah, it's a great goal. So it's gonna be tough against Getafe.
Well, I hope so, man, because it's time that you guys get things going a little tough for you, because you've had it very easy right now.
It's been tough. These games have been tough, despite the wins, man. It's been tough. Hasn't been that easy.
Look, Madridista. Where do you guys stand on the? Come on, let's. We have to finish the pod with addressing the elephant in the room. Does it go on the spreadsheet or not? I am willing to hear you out and tell me why that was not a bullshit call in
Which
minute
one was
3.
it?
In minute 3, Kepa himself said it wasn't a penalty. Able to clear the ball, easy peasy.
What do you mean himself said it wasn't a penalty? Where did you see
a penalty? That? Sorry, that it wasn't a foul on him.
Where did he say that?
He said that.
He's literally complaining for like 3 minutes after he gets fouled the whole time.
No. Where do you stand on it?
It was a penalty. I mean, it was what's it called? It was no goal. It's a foul.
It was a goddamn penalty.
This is why I refuse to do the spreadsheet with you, because I know you're going to put that as a goal, but it's not. It's by the rules. There's a clear angle where his shirt gets pulled, and that's all it needs to be.
There's the clear angle where there is excessive pulling on the shirt.
Yes.
I'm going to try to look for it. Or do you have it there?
No, I don't have it there. I was not expected to have to defend this. Clear call.
My God. Are you serious? Dude, like literally even the Madrid-based media, some of it, the referee, whoever it was.
I don't care who says what. Madrid-based, Barca-based, alien-based. It's a foul. It's a foul. It's a foul.
So then that means that Benzi's goal in the final, where he takes down in the Champions League final, where he takes down the keeper. You remember that play?
No.
Benzema.
Which final? We're in a Champions League final every year. Which one are you talking about?
Fuck this.
Give me the year.
I'm not even gonna. Whatever. Fucking. I'll let you have it.
There's nothing to have. There's just bothered. You gotta come on, man. You got to be a little bit objective here. Work with me a little bit.
Oh my God.
Work with me a little bit. You can't be every call you complaining about this.
Oh my God. I cannot just let it slide, dude. I cannot let this bullshit slide. And this hypocrisy. It's just nuts, man. It's nuts.
But there's nothing. I don't understand what you're letting slide. There's nothing to be let slide. It's just
there was no foul. There was no foul, dude. It was not a foul on Kepa. That should have been 1-0 for Celta, man.
This is why I'm refusing to do the spreadsheet. It'll be too much work for me. Every day I have to go and edit the spreadsheet and change what you wrote. We're not seeing the same calls.
We're really not.
But you know why? It's because you follow Zona Blaugrana and Mr. Satan, and you don't follow Zona Madridista and Mr. Tofu. You gotta follow them all so you can see the whole package of biasness, or just don't follow any of them.
I will follow Mr. Tofu, please. No, honestly, I want to follow Mr. Tofu and Mrs. Soya Sauce, whoever it is. I want to get all the angles and perspectives in. How about Sevilla? Huh? My God,
Sevilla.
Isco in making us in Betis must be loving life right now.
I'm loving it.
He's balling. He's ditched. The angry, psychotic, aggressive, abusive girlfriend and gone to the prettier one in town next door.
Is that what happened?
Oh, clearly, bro. I mean, Sevilla's down in the dirt.
No, but is this something that actually happened? Like he switched girlfriends?
Well, I'm talking metaphorically.
Oh, okay. No, I thought no, I understand because I'm so out of the loop when it comes to this kind of stuff. I thought that might actually have happened.
No, I'm talking him leaving Sevilla or even getting kicked out. His whole little choke session with Monchi. This is not a joke, by the way. You know Monchi choked him?
No.
Yes, this happened. This was sort of I guess la gota que colmó el vaso, the straw that broke the camel's back. Was the last face-to-face meeting they had, where he was like, dude, I'm being treated like shit or whatever. I'm not happy with this, that, and the other. And Monchi just went over to him and apparently just starts choking him to a point where they had to be separated. And Isco was like, fuck this, I'm out of here. This is crazy.
Can we go back to the girlfriend thing for 1 second?
Right. So what I'm saying is,
before you go on, sorry. I really believed you because Isco's girlfriend got mad at me one time.
Oh.
And because I was at the Bernabeu and it was one of those, I don't know what game it was. It was long after the game had ended. I was still busy working and I was just sitting there at the press area with my laptop. And no one was on the field except for Isco and his kids. And Isco and his kids were just kicking around. Obviously, Isco was not even wasn't in the game. He wasn't playing. He didn't come on as a sub or nothing. And I posted a picture of him playing with his kids, as a wholesome thing. I posted on Twitter. I said, "No one on the field, just Isco with his kids." And she tweeted at me. She said, "Remove this photo immediately. Otherwise," she made a threat. I can't remember what the threat was. Something. I think she may have even involved the police. She's like, "Take this photo down immediately." This doesn't seem to surprise you. Do you know more about his girlfriend?
What? No, I was expecting you to I don't know, something worse to come out. I'm kind of surprised that
she said something like, "You should never post
kids."
Our kids specifically was like,
yeah.
This, and then I realized. So I showed this to the Managing Madrid staff members. I was like, "Look, she's tweeting at me. She's telling me she wants me to remove the photo." And
she's charging. She's coming my way. Quick, what do I do?
I ended up removing. I ended up removing the photo because it quickly was getting a lot of attention. Because people who didn't even follow me saw that she was tweeting at me. And then so they joined. And most of the people who joined were criticizing her. And I just didn't want...
Did you see the kids' faces?
Oh my God, no, dude, they were dots on a field. I'm like sitting at the top of the stadium. And they were like, you can't see anything. And and so I deleted it anyway because I just didn't want all that weird drama and attention on my Twitter. And then I realized, because the Managing Madrid staff members brought this to my attention, they said, they said I wouldn't have deleted it, and here's why. Because apparently she just goes on social media all day and tries to find pictures people are posting of the kids and tweets at them and tells them to delete it. That's like, and she like, I'm not kidding. If you like go into like her tweets, like her replies section, it's basically like, at the time anyway, it was all that she was telling everyone to, I will legal action, like don't post my kids and all this stuff. So when you said he got rid of his girlfriend, I was like, oh, tell me more. I really thought was like, that's what happened.
That's what happened.
Anyways.
That's funny. While you were telling that story, I had to laugh. No, the reason I laughed is not because I expected it. It's because I was picturing you in like a pitch dark Bernabeu, empty. You're there still in the seats. Undercover, Kiyan, always on duty, always reporting, getting the latest on Isco, and she sees you, the flash coming from beneath your jacket, and she's like, hey! And she's like, you're like, oh my God, she spotted me. I gotta get out of here.
It wasn't in person.
Delete that footage. Fucking delete. Get that guy. Oh, God. Well, I probably would have deleted it. You don't want any of that.
Yeah, I deleted it. I mean, I just didn't want the drama. Like, I think, like, there was a case that anyways, this is too much of a derailment.
Yeah, so anyway, what I was saying is that he left Sevilla. He's gone to Betis. He's playing great. He's important under Pellegrini, which, I'm not one for calling big shots or anything, but I did say in the beginning, or when this transfer happened, that under Pellegrini we could see players like Isco and Bellerin, hopefully, get some sort of a resurgence and be important and show their quality football. So he must be feeling good. Betis in 9th, though having lost, of course, over the weekend. But Sevilla, man, down and dirty, 20, all the way down. Go down, baby. Imagine Sevilla get relegated.
Isn't Sevilla one of your favorite teams?
I mean, favorite teams. It's Barca and then nobody else. And I have sympathy. I have sympathy towards Sevilla because of my grandfather. I like great grandfather, but
yeah, until they play defensive football against you one day, you'll call them anti-football. Yes, Sevilla are pretty brutal right now. I also think Betis, they do need to improve offensively. They're not creating enough chances right now. So it's fine, and Isco's had a great start, but I think they need to do a little bit more. Yeah, Sevilla are just a disaster so far. Conceded the most goals in the league, 8. Even more than Rayo Vallecano, who conceded 7 in one game. Shout out to Rayo because they, watching that game against Atletico, it looked like I was watching the Paco Gémez Rayo Vallecano. The one that just can't defend to save its life. And they have so many players forward, no one defending. La Liga's back, baby. It's good to see this weekend of La Liga what happened. It felt like the cup was filled a little bit. The empty cup that is my heart, my La Liga heart. It was empty. So it was filled a little bit. I hope it's sustainable.
Your cup?
It'll be awesome.
Your empty cup? Why don't you get 2 girls to fill it for you?
Everyone should Google that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm happy you got reference.
And then blame Diego.
And then throw your computer away.
Yeah.
And then run for your life.
All right, man.
All right, dude. Let's get out of here.
Let's wrap it up. Let's go be with our families. And we'll be back later this week over on patreon.com/Churros y Tácticas, where our beloved patrons submit really juicy and controversial questions, and Diego and I go through them.
Talk about running for the hills. Some of those questions, boy.
Yeah. All right, we'll see you over there. Diego, good chatting, buddy.
Always.
Talk soon.
Peace out.
Peace.
Ciao.